Somewhere in America tonight, a man is sitting in a dealership office at 9 o'clock, long after he meant to be home, signing his name to a 72-month loan on a truck he cannot afford. The salesman never once told him the price of that truck. He didn't have to. He only ever asked one question: "What do you want your monthly payment to be?" And the man gave a number, and everything after that was arithmetic arranged to land on it. A little longer on the term, a little more each month than he'd planned. He'll drive off the lot feeling like he won. And he will spend the next 6 years slowly, politely losing. I want to tell you exactly how much car you can actually afford. A real number for your real salary. Because almost no one in that building has any reason to tell you the truth. My name is Ed Callahan. For 35 years I managed money, first for a large fund, and later for families who had a good deal of it. I'm retired now. I don't sell cars, I don't write auto loans, and I've no hot stock tips to push on you. I've simply watched, up close for a very long time, what happens to an ordinary person's wealth. And I'll tell you plainly, almost nothing drains it more surely or more predictably than the automobile in the driveway. So today I'm going to give you 3 numbers for someone earning $40,000 a year, someone earning 80, and someone earning 150. The most you should ever spend on a car, and the most you should ever pay in a month. A few simple rules, the plain arithmetic underneath them, and one number at the end that the car business does not want you to sit and think about. Before any rule can help you, you have to understand the game being played. The dealer is not in the business of selling you a car. He is in the business of selling you a monthly payment. Those are 2 entirely different things, and the difference is where your money goes to die. Because once you're talking in monthly payments, he has a liver, and the liver is time. Stretch the loan longer, and any car, no matter how absurd, can be made to fit almost any budget. The average car loan in this country now runs 69 months, nearly 6 years. And the lower your credit, the longer they'll stretch it. Not as a kindness, but because a longer loan buries a larger pile of interest inside it, and that interest is their harvest. A buyer with poor credit today can pay 3 or 4 times the interest rate of a buyer with good credit on the very same car. When you hear, "Let's just get that payment down for you," understand what's actually happening. They are not lowering the cost of the car. They are lowering the payment and raising the cost, and hoping you only ever look at the small number. So let's fix your eyes on the right number. Rule 1, and the only one you truly must remember. The price of the car should never cost you more than a quarter of what you earn in a year. Not the payment, the price, the whole sticker, a quarter of your annual income, and not $1 more. Here's what that looks like. If you earn $40,000 a year, the most you should spend on a car is $10,000. If you earn $80,000, your ceiling is $20,000. And if you earn $150,000 a year, the most you should put into a car is a little under $38,000. Now, you'll hear a more generous version of this rule, a third of your income instead of a quarter, and the car enthusiasts love it because it lets a $40,000 earner justify a $14,000 car, and a 6-figure earner justify something north of 50. I'd leave that version to the people who take their pride from their parking spot. For everyone else who simply wants a good, reliable car that carries you where you're going, a quarter of your income is the line. Stay under it, and almost everything else takes care of itself. Rule 2 is how you actually structure the purchase, and the old hands call it the 24-10 rule. 3 numbers, 20% down, no more than 4 years on the loan, and your total monthly cost of the car kept under 10% of your monthly income. Take them one at a time, because each one is protecting you from something specific. The 20% down protects you from going underwater, and let me show you exactly what that means, because it happens constantly. Say you finance the entire price of a $25,000 car, nothing down, drive it home, and within the first year, it loses about a fifth of its value, which is perfectly ordinary. Now the car is worth $20,000, but you've barely dented the balance, and you still owe more than $21,000 on it. You now own a thing worth less than you owe, and if life forces you to sell, you have to pay for the privilege of getting rid of it. 20% down keeps you on the right side of that line from the very first day. The 4, no loan longer than 4 years, protects you from the interest trap. Stretch that same $30,000 car from 4 years out to 6, and at today's interest rates, you'll hand the lender well over $2,000 extra dollars for the exact same automobile. Same car, same seat, more of your money gone. And here is the plainest test I can give you. If you cannot afford a car on a 4-year loan, you cannot afford that car. The loan length is not a detail, it's the whole confession. And the 10, keeping the car's total monthly cost, payment and insurance and upkeep together under 10% of your income, that one protects the rest of your life, because you are not only buying a car, you are still buying groceries and rent and the emergencies that arrive without an appointment. Here is the simplest rule of thumb I can give you. Take your yearly salary and divide it by 120. That is the most you should pay in a month, all in. So our $40,000 earner should keep it near $330 a month, the $80,000 earner about $660, and the person at $150,000 around $1,250 a month. And notice that is the ceiling, not the target. Just because the number allows it does not mean you must go and spend it. Rule 3. Let a stranger absorb the worst of the loss. A new car does the cruelest part of its depreciating in the first 2 or 3 years while it sits in your driveway doing nothing but aging. So let someone else own it for those years and pay for that decline. Buy the car when it's 3 to 5 years old. Most of the depreciation has already been wrung out of it. Someone else wrote that check, and you get a car that is very nearly new for a great deal less. There is no prize for buying it first. Now, should you lease or buy? I'll be brief, because for most people it isn't close. Leasing can make sense in a narrow case, if you insist on a new car every 3 years, or you can write it off in a business. But a lease is a car payment that never once ends in ownership. You are renting forever. If you want to build any wealth at all, you buy a sound used car and you drive it until it has no more miles left to give. The cheapest car you will ever own is the good one you already have. And that brings us to the number I promised you, the one the whole car business would prefer you never dwell on. When you buy a car, you're told its cost is the price, plus the interest, plus the insurance. That is not its real cost. The real cost of a car is the fortune it kept you from building. Let me show you what I mean, because this is the number that changed how my own clients thought about everything. Every $20,000 you don't pour into a car is $20,000 you could invest instead. Put it into a plain, low-cost index fund. The broad American market has historically averaged somewhere around 8 to 10% a year over the long run, and that $20,000 becomes roughly $31,000 in 5 years. Leave it 30 years, one working lifetime, and that same $20,000 grows to something on the order of $265,000, more than $250,000 from money you'd otherwise have handed the dealer. That is the true sticker price of the car you didn't need, not the payment, the retirement you traded for it. I'm not telling you never to own a car. I'm telling you to know, honestly, what each extra $10,000 at the dealership is really costing you 30 years down the road, because the salesman certainly won't. 3 quick ways to keep more of your money while you're at it. First, shop your insurance, and shop it out loud. Call a competitor, tell them what you pay now, and let them fight for you. People who bother to switch routinely save a few $100s a year, sometimes a good deal more, for one phone call. Second, as I said, buy the 3-year-old car and let the depreciation be someone else's problem. And third, before you fall in love with anything, look up its true cost to own. There's a free calculator on Edmunds that shows you the full 5-year picture. I've watched a luxury car that was cheaper to buy than a plain one end up costing many thousands more to own across 5 years, once the maintenance and the repairs and the insurance all came due. The cheap car to buy and the cheap car to own are very often not the same car. So let me give you back your 3 numbers, plainly. If you earn $40,000 a year, a car around $10,000, a payment near $330 a month, $80,000 a year, $20,000 of car, about $660 a month, $150,000, call it $38,000 of car, $1,250 a month at the very most. Those aren't targets to reach, they're fences to stay inside. And here is why so few people stay inside them. The average price paid for a new vehicle in this country has now climbed past $50,000. By that aggressive one-third rule, the person buying the average new car ought to be earning around $143,000 a year, and that is nowhere close to what the average American actually makes. Which means the plain, uncomfortable truth is that most people you see on the road are driving a car they cannot afford, month after month after month. The fellow in the leased German sedan and the fellow in the paid-off Honda may hand over the very same payment, but only one of them is going anywhere, and it isn't the one everybody's admiring at the stoplight. You do not have to be in that first group. Buy a quarter of your salary. Put 20% down, keep it to 4 years, hold the whole thing under 10% of what you earn. Buy it a few years used, drive it into the ground, and take the money you didn't hand the dealer and put it somewhere that grows. Do that, and a car stops being the thing that drains your life savings and goes back to being what it was always meant to be, the thing that simply takes you home. Tell me in the comments what you drive and what you pay for it, and if you're somewhere outside America, I'd genuinely like to know what a car runs where you are. And if an old man just saved you from a costly mistake at the dealership, do me a favor and subscribe, because I'll keep telling you the truth the people selling to you never will.